And his dad is a big music lover, has a bar and basically a club in his basement. You know, rest in peace, my Uncle Cecil. My grandma's a big music lover. And one day he said to me, yo, if you could play any instrument, what would you want? If you could get any instrument. And I said, yo, when I go in the piano store, I was 5 years old, 6 years old. I said, when I go in the piano store, they have these keyboards and they're digital. And he's like, all right, cool, I'm going to get you one. But when you're a youth, enough people tell you they're going to get you stuff, bro. People always tell me they're going to get me stuff. So I was, you know what I mean? Bro, the Christmas that came up right after that, he didn't call, nothing. Remember, he comes from America. He rang my doorbell with this thing in a box, bro. I just seen the man walking in, and I knew what it was. And I said, nah, he brought it. It was like the craziest day. And that on that keyboard is like where I started
That's
learning.
divine right there. Yo.
Yeah. That keyboard is where I started learning how to turn the musical thoughts in my head into ideas of sound, you know? But at the same time, while all of this is going on, this is why I said family again. Like, I didn't even think of my cousin when I said this too. I was more thinking of my uncles, because my uncles used to rap, and them with a whole heap of their brethren used to rap.
Where? Here?
Yeah, and I remember them
like
going
they had a
in
group
and out of, yes,
what's the name of the group?
It was called Fine Print.
Okay.
Yeah, and they were.
What year was this?
They started out like the earliest I could remember. My uncles in the studio was maybe 94. Okay. So this is way back, you know. Okay. And just in the whole Don Mill strip, we have some of the oldest artists doing it for real too. Like men like Don Million and 20 Below and JB. Like, these are men that used to put CDs in music world,
brass tacks,
stuff like that, you know. So like,
yeah.
I seen a lot of that from young. I used to see those people on TV and think, yo, they just showed the ends in the video, like, you know.
Toba Chung, rest in peace.
Yes, you know, like that, and that's a great name because that's a man that blew my mind when I heard him.
Yeah, because I know you seen the video of him doing the band
and he sounded music. Nothing like. Yes, that's a legendary one too. Him on Much Music with the whole
with the whole squad,
BVS, all of them.
Yeah.
But Toba Chung was a man to me. He sounded. There's nothing about him that sounded unprofessional or amateur. It sounded like a man.
So, you know what, I'm glad you brought that up because I noticed you said that in one interview where, you know, in Toronto, like, there was Toronto had a sound at one point that was just kind of like, it was still in its infancy stage as far as hip-hop. So, outside of Toronto, you would hear it, like, it was very distinctive, you know? And it wasn't until, like, I remember you mentioned it, and it was like, not too many artists want to talk about those times because it was like the dinosaur ages.
You're right.
You know what I mean? Because, you know, it's the ugly duckling era. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we made it through. You know what I mean? We made it through, and we're here now. And there's a lot of people in the city doing their thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, people like that, bro. I always gotta pay homage to them, bro, because I remember like getting on the bus and going to Flamo Plaza to like do the grocery of my Dukes, right? And going in the store for her to do her lottery and seeing like the GCP album in there and just thinking, what? Like they have an actual CD? You know, I used to think
between the sound really for me started to change between Point Blank and the GCP Mandem. The Toronto sound started to really form when I
like
heard.
You mean like actually coming to
yeah, because remember, now we had example in the States with the whole Mob Deep Wu-Tang squad up, and you know, like man's on the block, we could do this too. I remember a lot of the men that were playing ball too were on the block. Something that people don't realize. They think that a lot of the basketball players are sick now. A lot of the men were sick back then, but they were just really in the streets.
Yeah,
and it was
couldn't.
Gunshot, dead, or jail. Like,
bro,
it's crazy.
I know.
It's crazy. I know.
I know a man that was one of the sickest ever, bro, in ball, and got caught up on some street shit. And like anyone.
But imagine him now. Imagine him now.
You know?
Imagine him now with all the resources that's there. Straight to the league.
Yeah. Well, you know what, bro? Before we never used to feel like we could really do much coming from here. You know, and that goes into what you were saying before about people not wanting to really talk about those times.
Because we were insecure too about it. No lie. You know what I mean? Because we heard what was going on from New York. You know what I mean? We were hearing it. You know what I mean?
I tell people all the time that I'll never forget. You see, like all of this Six Buzz and all of this Ray and everyone's all the culture now and all of this stuff. Bro, I'll never forget when people used to look down on me for like talking the way that we talked. Right? And I also remember, like, anyone who wasn't the man them at school used to just think that that's waste. That's like some, you know what I mean? Some vagrant, like,
Fam, it's on the news.
shit,
People
you
are
know?
deciphering the whole lingo now on the news. The newscasters are deciphering the lingo.
But this is
on
the
the
biggest
news.
one. I remember when people would hear your record and say, "This is good, but I can tell that you're from Toronto." That was like a main. People thought that you were like that. They like you're doing industry talk when you're saying that. Like you're in the know. You know what I'm saying? And bro, that was always foolishness to me. You know, because I always thought that like we were sick. I always thought our culture was sick.
But it's a melting pot. That's what it is. It's a melting pot, and people didn't grasp the cosmopolitan of it. You know what I mean? It was really.
I think it's the only true melting pot in the world. You know, I've been to all the other ones that they say are the melting pots. I've been to France. I've been to London.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask you about that too.
I've been to the state. I've been to New York, and you know what I mean. It's not, you know, they have all the cultures, but you see the way that we're like so intertwined here. It's different. We all know about each other's thing. You know what I'm saying? And I noticed like people that my friends in America and stuff, they always are really impressed by that. Like how much I'll know about certain things. You know, I'll meet a man that's Mexican in America, and because one of my closest brethren on the ends growing up was Mexican, I know about stuff that
probably know the food. You know,
and it's not the big ones in the store.
Yeah, you know certain
what I mean?
songs too. You know what I mean? Because
I
you
know
went to
about
their house.
the shrine that they'll have in the front of the house when you walk in, stuff like that. You know,
I was like that. Like me growing up, I had dark skinned brethren, pale skinned European friends. You know what I mean? So it's like I went to different homes, yo. You know what I mean? So
and I'm really, bro, I'm really interested in like, you know, culture, the history of people. I'm really interested in like why people speak how they speak, you know, and just even my own speech, how it's changed based on me from a kid to now, and what my environment has done to affect that, and you know, stuff like that. I'm really interested in. So,
so the music thing, you, let's say uncles
so
that
back
was rapping.
to, my uncles were rapping, and I started rapping from young. Remember, I had the keyboard and stuff too, so I would sit there and write songs on my keyboard, sing and rap while I'm playing and stuff like that, you know. So I used to, and what really, like the rapper that really made me want to rap, because Bob Marley made me want to make music. He made me want to be an artist. He made me want to be on a stage.
You felt the vibes.
I just knew just
you
the realest,
vibes.
you know?
You felt the vibes.
Yeah, it from young connected with me, and then I loved reggae and all of that. But then, what made me like want to be a rapper was the Fugees, because they had like the West Indian influence. It just made It made
sense. It made sense.
It was so interesting to me, and the way the production, because they put that into the production, it just spoke to me. You know what I'm saying? My uncle had the vinyl. He was a DJ too. My uncle did everything. He was a rapper, producer. He made sick beats. He taught me how to make beats.
I noticed that with your beats still. That the influence, the culture, the reggae influence is in your beats.
Yeah,
like,
it must be.
Like, no, it's in there. Even with your flow. Like, you could be a dancehall artist doing your thing with your flow.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? So it's like, but you're just doing hip hop.
Well, bro, my boy Sonny Diamonds, bro, he always said that if Tre really wanted to be a dancehall artist, he's convinced.
There's two artists that I feel that's sick. You and Bars.
Yeah.
You and Bars.
Well, he's from Jamaica, so he's he's
you and Bars.
Like, you know, he's
like,
born there.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well,
you know what I mean? Yeah, yo. But
all right, so this is what happened.
So you're making beats.
So the way I started making beats, I was 11 years old. See, I got suspended from school, and remember, my uncle lived up the road. So my uncle's a man too. He always checked for me, you know, come pick me up, bring me to play soccer. Ray. My mom said, "You're not staying home all day. You think you're bad getting suspended, Ray. Go by your uncle.
Go watch cartoons all day.
Yeah, go by your uncle. But I go by my uncle. I'm watching cartoons with him. You know what I mean? I'm on the block, you know.
But she doesn't want to be a part of it. That's what it is.
She's like, get out of here.
I'm not going to be a part of the fuckery.
Yeah, so I go up there, and I'll never forget this, bro. I was just like, I remember thinking he's going to probably rail me up for getting suspended, because he was like that, but I knew it was going to be a good 2 weeks, you know? So I followed into the crib, and he was sitting there with a little MIDI keyboard at the computer, and he was making a bass line.
You got suspended for 2 weeks?
Yeah.
For what?
Bro, I can't even remember what it was.
The 2 weeks is a long time, eh?
Actually, you know what? I remember what it was. It's one you, Peter Regan, bro.
Man remembers his last name. That's how you know it's deep.
Man, he called me a nigger in the washroom. He called me a nigger in the washroom. And
so you fed it to him?
Yeah.
Okay,
And
okay. Understandable.
Yeah, but they're not believing me. That like, you know.
So that's even more frustrating.
Yeah.
So he's like, fuck school.
He didn't even get suspended because I was beating him up, you know what I mean? So it's just
Crazy.
Whatever. So I got suspended.
So
and
you went to your uncle and you
sent
thought
me
he was
up
going
there.
to deal with you a certain way, but he's like, you're playing video games.
But I was like, whatever, I'm going to forward up there. He's playing a bass line when I walk in, you know? And then I remember I'd always asked to go to the studio, and they just never ended up bringing me, you know? And I used to hold a grudge against my uncles for that. Like, me? You're not bringing me to the studio? My cousin that didn't even really care about music, they carried her to the studio one time. I said, what? This is crazy. So I'm 11 years old. I walk in, he's making a bass line. I said, yo, what are you doing? He's like, I'm making a beat. I was like, on the computer? He was like, yeah. I was like, you can make beats on the computer? He's like, you want to learn? Bro, and I don't think he knew that, like, he just said, like, my dream to me that day, you know? With Tim, he's just like, yo, yeah, my nephew likes music.
What year is this?
2002.
Okay, what program was he using?
Reason.
Okay, that's the legendary one.
Reason 2, I think it was.
Yeah.
So,
Fruity Loops, that's another one.
So I started flexing on that. He taught me how to make beats, and then, bro, I just got addicted, you know? And I was also, my mom from since...
So